Fellas, welcome in this tier list video, which will alter the rest of your life. If you're currently playing football, you're no longer going to play football after you've seen this video. If you don't play chess, you're going to play chess after this video, because in this video, I'm going to tell you the best hobbies, interests, passions, if you want to get better at getting girls. Which are the interests and hobbies, the passions that you need to have to make girls go like, oh, fuck. That's so hot. Please impregnate me. And also the hobbies where she's like, please stay the fuck away from me at all times, you disgusting football player. As you can see right here, the best hobbies, the best passions, the best interests will be rated insta ovulation. It doesn't matter where she is in her cycle. If she finds out that this is your hobby, she just starts ovulating and wants you to impregnate her right fucking now, wherever you are. Second tier, that's where she tells her friends about it, and she's like, oh, by the way, girls, he's a chess player. The third tier, that's nice anyway. Like, she'll compliment you on it once, but she won't really mean it. And then it's the next topic. It's pretty much irrelevant whether you have this hobby or not. Nobody really cares. It's not gonna get you laid. It's not gonna get you friend zoned. The next tier, however, is the game handicap. You know when you play any sort of computer game and you can put a handicap? It's like, you want the game to be 30% more difficult, you put a 30% handicap, and then you only have 30% resources that the computer you're playing against has. This is the game handicap. If you have this passion, hobby, interest, you can still get the girl, but everything's just tougher. And then the last one is the celibacy speed run. This doesn't need much information. You have this hobby, you're just never gonna get laid, ever. No one in the world respects you. Not women, not men, not your own parents, just stop. Let's get right into it. By the way, if you want more information about the hobbies, passions, interests, if you want the solid reasoning behind it and an in-depth analysis with a little bit less trolling, I recorded 2 podcast episodes about it with the Netherlands #1 dating coach. You can find those on the What Your Dad Didn't Teach You podcast, linked somewhere down here below. For now, let's fucking start. We're going to start with an obvious one, surfing. As usual, I'll put it in the middle first and then we think about it. He's a surfer. Oh, Sarah, I got railed backwards 7 times yesterday. She's like, what the hell, 7 times? That's a lot, even for you. But that's when she goes like, yeah, but he's a surfer. And then she's like, oh, okay. Why did you not get railed 8 times? I think surfing is one of these classic ones, you know, the Californian surfer boy. People think of a tan, a tone, lean physique, and long blonde hair with 0% receding hairline. But surfing in general, pretty damn good. And I've also known quite a bunch of surfers that are not the best looking ones, but they still got laid quite often. It's not a guarantee, it's not instant ovulation, because you can be a surfer and just be some sort of antisocial guy that only feels at peace when he's all alone by himself in the waves with no one else in the lineup. But still, surfing's kind of a no-brainer. Here. This guy's holding a guitar, and that's why we're gonna call it the guitar. It's not just playing an instrument, right? Because playing an instrument it's just too wide of a category. Are you playing the fucking flute? Nobody really cares. I would go as far as to say, if you're playing the flute, you have a higher chance playing the skin flute rather than any sort of female mammary glands or whatever. It's kind of gay. The guitar, however, has a lot of potential. On the podcast, I discussed it with this other dating coach, and they actually did a test in their community where 2 guys would walk the beach, one with a guitar, one with a surfboard, and they would ask a whole bunch of girls, hey, not knowing us, who do you think is more attractive? And the guy with the guitar got way more votes than the surfboard. Then they flipped it around. They swapped tools, asked a whole bunch of girls again. Again, the guy with the guitar got way more votes than the guy with the surfboard. I told my fellow dating coach that it really depends where you do this test, because in some places a surfboard is very exotic and therefore gets you more points. If you're a surfer back in Belgium or Netherlands, pretty damn cool. If you're a surfer in some place where everyone and their grandma surfs, not so cool. So that's something to keep in mind. But either way, we agreed that the guitar is probably top tier. I think the best thing about the guitar is the sense of self-expression, which is more so, guys, you know this, women love masculine men, but they also love a guy that's in touch with his emotions to a certain degree, who's able to express himself, be a little bit vulnerable. And I think the guitar is a great way to show that. Even if you can't express yourself in your own words, you could do it through a fucking song. Also, you can serenade her. Some of the biggest man whores I've ever known were guitar players, and it is not a coincidence. Look at this guy with his chick abroad, speaking a foreign language. It's definitely not a celibacy speedrun. It's not a handicap. And it's more than nice. Is it more than nice? I think it's more than nice. Is it as powerful as surfing? I'm not sure. But maybe you guys have noticed it too. I've definitely noticed it when I'm dating a girl and she just busts out a new language, especially in a situation where the language is very helpful. Oh God, that's so sexy. Or you're chilling with her, you're both speaking English or whatever the hell you speak, and suddenly her family calls and she picks up and she's like, super fluent in some other language. It always makes my balls sting a little bit, and I think it would make her ovaries tingle as well. In fact, from talking to females, I know it does. So let's put it right here. What about this guy? What is he doing? Yoga. This is tough. So for example, if we compare it to surfing, the average surfer, I would say yes, there's a clear benefit. If you think of the average surfer, he's probably good with girls. If you think of the average yoga guy, there's a fair chance it's some overly spiritual hippie guy, you know, with those diarrhea shit pants. A little bit weird in the non-attractive way. Yoga can be really good. The flexibility can be good, especially if you want to do all sorts of extreme getting pegged angles. It's also not a handicap. I'm gonna say it's nice anyway, because for some guys it will be great. For some guys it will be a handicap. Let's leave it in the middle. Ooh, this one's interesting. Magic tricks. Back in the day, when game was more about tricks and surface level BS, I knew some guys that would go to clubs and they would bring cards and they would bring a little feather that they would summon out of a girl's hair and shit. And it actually got them quite good results. But which high-level girl is going to brag to her friends about your stupid card tricks that maybe you even pulled on her in a club? If you're really good with magic, you're usually good at sleight of hand, right? And anything that makes your fingers move in solid ways, like the guitar. Yeah, that's a benefit. But the magic in itself is not so cool. It's like in the middle. Or, yeah, in the middle. Look at this guy though, this handyman. He's fucking building his own table. He can repair anything in your crush's house. He has like a little bit of this, what do you call that fucking shit on your hands when you use them a lot? Quite masculine. Like the type of shit that you don't want to see on your woman's hands. I think it goes here. Especially women who are looking for something more serious long-term relationship. The guy that can just, if shit breaks in your life, he'll fix it. What a reassuring feeling. He's a friggin' handyman. Yeah. What is this? Reality TV shows. Oh ho ho. I think my opinion is a little bit different from most here. I think a lot of people would say it's almost a handicap when you watch all those stupid TV shows. I'm not gonna say it's insta ovulation, but I am gonna put she's not gonna say he's a reality TV binge watcher, but it is so good under the condition that you are not a super feminine dude. If you are a bit of a masculine dude, you have some masculine hobbies, some masculine interests, a masculine look, then the more female hobbies are actually great. So for example, I see myself as quite a masculine dude, and I watch a little bit too much reality TV show, those dating shows and all those romantic drama movies and stuff. It's almost a superpower, because when I was actively dating, I could talk about it with almost all girls, and it's fun for them to see the opinion on these shows from the complete opposite. Assuming the girls I'm dating are super feminine, and then they get to compare their feminine view on the show with my more masculine view. Plus, I understand a lot of the dynamics in the show and so on. It was almost always a superpower. I'm not going to say it's insta ovulation, but it is a bit of a trick for sure. Look, this here, they're not playing chess, it's some board game. These are the board game geeks. Board game geeks, I mean, board games have made an incredible comeback. The sales are fucking soaring. Everyone and their mom is playing board games. If it's not Monopoly Deal, then it's even Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff. I've done quite a lot of board game nights with girls, and many of them like it. Even a client last week set up a board game date as a first date, which is kind of nice because then she's instantly at your place. She brings her favorite game, you have your favorite game, glass of wine, candle, boom, pregnant. But She's not gonna say, oh my god, he's so good at Monopoly. I'd say it's kind of in the middle. Nobody really cares, unless if you're into those anime girlies. Here, fucking run clubs. Man, I hate that shit. Look, I hate run clubs. Run clubs, everyone knows by now. It's not about the running, it's just the dating thing. And so that's why it's good. I think if you're single and you don't meet too many women the natural way, go to a run club. There's a million. Hopefully you're a bit in shape and you're not that one out of shape fat guy at the run club that's always lagging behind. But there's a lot of hot girls in run club. Unfortunately for you, there's a lot of hot guys as well. Actually, let's just focus on the act of the hobby of running. Any sports is good. You'll never hear me complain about that. Any of that is good. But if we have to select the least attractive sports for men, unfortunately, running is in the bottom half. And especially those really long distance runners. And their classic physique, no girl is dreaming of a marathon runner's physique. It's someone feed the guy. If you're one of these now very cool on Instagram hybrid athletes that run while they're fucking powerlifting and fighting and everything, yeah, they're super jacked and they look good, but that's such a small majority. There's definitely not this. That's not zoom on this guy. That's not him. Look at him making selfies while running. This is a fucking loser. I would love to put it here. Unfortunately, it's not true. I just don't really like their run clubs, man. Let's put him here. What about this fella? What is he doing? He's writing poetry in the park. He's doing a little haiku that he's then gonna read out loud on the first date with his, not Hinge match, because he's not on Hinge. He's on Bumble, or what is more gay than Bumble? That's where he is at. Self-expression, I'm all for it. I think actually if a guy does write poetry and stuff, it is a plus as long as you don't turn into the guy that wants to share it with everyone. And he's like, hey, I know we've only exchanged 2 Tinder messages, but here's a little poem I wrote for you. And then there's some rhyme and then those 2 fancy words that he knows. And as with everything, if you do stuff like this and you're hyper masculine, great, big bonus. But I'm going to put it as a handicap. I may be influenced by one of the co-founders of TextGod, the guy that does all the IT and stuff behind the scenes. He was the ultimate nice guy that constantly got friend-zoned back in the day. And he was the guy that wrote poetry and always read them out loud to his dates. And after all, they're just like, what the fuck is up with this dude? Like, can he even get his dick hard? And then it was almost a celibacy speedrun, honestly, for him. Yeah, we're going to put it there. Fuck it. Look at this. This is a guy playing chess, thinking hard, and there's this complete gilf. Editor, can you zoom on her? She even has a little bit of a hard nip there, which is quite well positioned for a woman so old. These boobs are not very saggy. She's quite hot, and she's into this chess player. In the intro, I was saying chess is absolute domination, the best thing ever. I was just saying random shit. I'd say it's nice, but no one really cares. Women generally love a smart guy as long as he's not just pure intelligence smart, but there's some sort of EQ as well, or some sort of street smart, not just a full-on nerd chess geek. Reminds me though, one time I was on a busy sort of a street with a lot of bars, drinking a glass of cherry vodka with a friend, and a super hot girl walked past, and we saw her. We had to make a move. I ran over to her. I was playing chess. Chess.com games, quite low ranked, I'm not very good. And I ran over to her and I was like, help me win this chess match. And she actually was quite entertained by the proposal. We played the game, then I played the game against her. And then later we played a completely different game with less clothes. So chess might be a superpower. Boom. No, just kidding. I don't think anyone really cares. Let's put it here. What is this? Oh, this is grooming. This is when you have a hobby or a passion and interest in taking good care of yourself, your skincare routine, knowing that this length of beard is actually not ideal for getting women only if they're ovulating. Ovulating women like men with longer beards because they're looking for more of that pure masculinity. Protect my child that is about to be born at any second now because I'm ovulating. But yeah, the interest of pretty much making sure that you look all right. Look, I'm going to say that hobby in itself is not a superpower. The effects of it, however, are good. If you don't have blackheads popping out left and right and your skin turns into some sort of cheese grater, that is beneficial. If you don't have the hair falling over your ears and you look like you take care of yourself, that is definitely a good look. And just like with the reality TV show, for me, skincare has been a bit of a hack because not many guys can really have a conversation about it with women that goes deeper than the standard basic knowledge. So there it was definitely useful. I'm gonna put it in the middle. Again, the results of the hobby are super nice, but the fact that you're doing it, that's not really special. Here, gym, lifting. Not gonna waste too many words here. Insta ovulation, building muscle, so good. I've talked about it a million times in videos, right? But guys, there is really not a reason that any one of you should not be hitting the gym consistently. You feel stronger, you look stronger, you feel more confident, your clothes fit better. It's just you're gonna live longer. Go to the fucking gym. Another one that should be quite brainless, this is dancing. Any sort of dancing, especially salsa, I think is good. You learn to take the lead. You learn to be comfortable with physical touch. You learn how to initiate physical touch. You get better control of your body. You get better hip movement. That was not hip movement. Has to be top tier. Here, look at this guy. Mega good looking, some sort of George Clooney boy cooking. Although his cooking seems very minimal. I'm not gonna lie, a good cook is attractive, but good cooking is definitely not needed to be good with women. It is something that women brag about. They're like, oh my God, he's a chef or he's a great cook. And I know a couple guys that are chefs or great cooks. And coincidence or not, they are all dating pretty good women. Also, the couple guys in my programs that have solid photos of them cooking, not those overly posed like on this little AI image, but the ones that have photos of them really cooking in the moment and enjoying it, those photos have done solid damn work. So I'm gonna say it's something that girls definitely love to brag about, like, hey, my guy's a great cook. It's not needed, but it does help. Also, obviously, for your dates, right? And Coach Javara had this sort of routine where he would bring up this one dish he was really good at and he would talk about it to his dates. And then for the second date, he's like, hey, how about next time I just make you that dish? You bring this ingredient, I'll do all the cooking. And then they would eat it and then they would bang. Yep, seems to be solid there. Here, photography. It's not a celibacy speedrun. It's not a game handicap. It's creative, self-expression. It can get you in the door with some women. I mean, if you're one of these photographer guys that uses that, I knew some of those that would then DM girls and, hey, do you want to do a photo shoot, blah, blah, blah. And then they would make moves on them. It's like, that's the creepiest shit. I think the hobby in itself is nice. If you're really good at it, then it's like, he's a photographer. If like most people, you're a hobbyist, nobody really cares. What is this? Oh, car knowledge. This is not to be confused with the handyman. This is just a guy that knows a lot about cars. So obviously he can repair his own car, but he knows every car, which model it is and how much it costs and all that type of shit. I kind of disagreed with our other coach on the podcast about this. He said it was absolutely worthless, but I've just met one too many girls that are into cars. I know jack shit about cars, right? I know the difference between a Mercedes and a BMW, and I know that the BMW usually has the more annoying driver, but that's about as much as I know. It's never cockblocked me really, but more knowledge could have helped me with those specific niche girls that are into cars. But then again, if you find a niche girl that's into chess or that's into freaking poetry, then it also helps. I can't call it a game handicap though, and it's not a celibacy speedrun, so it has to be here in the middle. Here, this one. Overrated. Cocktail making. What the fuck do you call that? There's like a word. Mixology, is that it? Mixology is pretty fucking useless. Sure, if you're a bartender, you're gonna meet a lot of women, but that's your job. This is just the hobby of mixology. Sure, you'll specialize in making the perfect espresso martini, the ultimate drink for people that want to get laid, and it's on half the women and men's Hinge profile. I go crazy for a perfectly made espresso martini. It doesn't really do anything. That's nice, sure. Here, this guy, look at him, fucking making shit up on the spot. Not just making random shit up on the spot, making solid, witty bomb lines up on the spot in any situation. Anyone's cracking up because he's doing improv. Improv has to be top tier. I recommend it to almost anyone who's in my course. If you're more of a logical thinker and you struggle with coming up with the replies, you struggle with having something to say in whatever situation, you're the type of guy that can just use his logical brain and cannot swap into that creative mode, go do improv. Oh my God, your life's gonna be better. You're gonna be better at work, you're gonna be better with friends, you're gonna be better with family, you're gonna get better at getting laid, at getting infinite vagina all the fucking time. This dude is playing piano. I'm not sure why one guy was playing the guitar and this is the piano. Piano is slightly more feminine typically than guitar. Both of them have good finger work though. My roommate's a piano player and I've never heard a girl complain about that. In fact, when my girlfriend's over and my roommate's playing piano, she always loved that shit, much like any other girl, honestly. But that is also because he's not the most feminine dude, so it balances out again. I'm gonna put it pretty up high though. Piano has to be pretty baller. Also good for your posture. Fucking hell, I should mind my posture more. Here, look at this fucking shit. This guy's all crazy about soccer. I think just like with the car people, it's like if your girl's supporting that same club as you. I have a client and he's all mad about the Bills. Apparently some sports team in the USA. I don't know jack shit about it. Man, how many conversations I've seen where girls are also mad about the Bills. And it's, oh my God, did you see that game? Oh, this guy played so bad. Blah, blah, blah. And then they're going on a date. But that's just because he's found those niche girls, right? In general, being a crazy football or American football supporter is not really going to do anything for you. It's also not a game handicap, though. I am going to put it there, though, because it's just not as useful as grooming. It's not as useful as yoga. Yeah, fuck it. Let's put it there. What is this dude doing? Oh, he's gaming. Look, it's Celibacy Speedrun. Some of you already know I'm playing World of Warcraft. I used to play a fucking shit ton of Hearthstone. Not those stereotypical things where girls like, oh my God, that's so hot. My girl does ask for screenshots of me with my best gear, fucking flexing and dominating Warzone Gulch. But that's probably just because she likes me. Whether it was World of Warcraft or The Sims or it was something else that I'm passionate about, that probably doesn't make a difference. But in general, gaming doesn't do much good for your life. Any of these other things listed here are better for you. Probably even writing bitch-ass poems in the park about your troublesome youth. Gaming has to be bottom tier. Here, this guy can draw. Like young Leo, when he was 25, instead of all the girls he dated being 25, drawing his beautiful girl on that boat, that little Titanic boat that sunk. I think drawing's pretty damn good. Again, much like all of the other slightly more feminine hobbies, if you can combine it with more masculine stuff, it's great. But drawing, painting, sculpture, any sort of self-expression that requires some skill, it has to be pretty damn good. It has... Yeah, I'm even going to put it here. But again, implying you're good, right? Or at least you're working on it well and you're progressing and she knows that you're gonna be good. That has to come up here. Here, astrology. Man, that has to be pretty similar to reality TV dating stuff. A shit ton of girls are into astrology. Some take it as a form of entertainment. Some take it super seriously. But if you can discuss that world with them, for sure, that is going to help you out. Is she gonna tell her friends like, he's an astrology guy? Probably not, right? And some women will find it super gay that you do that stuff. But man, it has to be useful knowing a bit about it. In fact, I know a guy. He's what we call a forest fuckboy. Have you ever heard of that terminology? Is these fuckboys that use that whole spiritual realm to get laid. He's the type of guy that would walk up to a girl at a club and rather than any sort of usual game, oh my God, I can see that you're troubled, that type of BS, he does the whole, oh, I feel like our energies match so well. You know, that whole angle. The forest fuckboy, and this guy, of course, is into astrology, and he's into like full moon fasting and stuff. Seems to work like a motherfucker for him, and I think a lot of girls would love talking about it. Yeah, we're gonna have to put it here. Okay, 2 more. Here, this guy is doing some sort of, it seems like he's just doing a pigeon pose stretch, but he's it's some sort of jiu-jitsu guy. This is martial arts in general. You know how to defend you and your girl. She feels a bit safer. It's quite masculine, although we all know jiu-jitsu is super gay because you're sniffing guys' asshole pretty much all the time through their pants. But still, any sort of fighting is super good. It has to be top tier. You face your fears. You know how to fight. You know how to protect people. And it's just a good workout. And then lastly, we have this one, which is Tantra workshop. I have never done any sort of Tantra workshops. I know, I would say pretty much all of our coaches have done it, and they have made great use of all that knowledge. Probably here. It's probably something that's very useful for all of you. Yeah, this seems about right, huh? Poetry and gaming, just don't do that fucking shit. Like, guys, again, I don't care if you're gaming. I'm gaming, but I balance it out with a lot of shit. Waking up early enough to do my gym. I have a proper diet. I'm working. I have a good company, and I'm helping people and shit. I have an EQ and can talk to my girls. So then if I want to play some games with the boys at night, it's fine. It's never a plus. Just like writing bitch-ass poetry is pretty much never a plus. Then being mad about some sport and watching it rather than playing it, not very good. These are all the things that doesn't really matter whether you do it or not. Silly magic tricks, and sure, you can run, but not fight and not lift heavy objects. Okay. These are pretty good. Surfing, languages, handyman. The reality TV, I'm just going to call it understanding her world. Some of the things that she's interested in, much like astrology, self-expression, creativity, great, instrument, cooking, sure. And then the God tier, if you're looking for a new hobby and you want to get laid, or you want to attract your forever, your plus one forever, your baby mama, you're looking at guitar, lifting heavy shit, dancing, salsa seems to be the most popular one, improv, self-defense and fighting. I would say more so fighting than self-defense, right? So yeah. And Tantra. That's it. These are the things you want to learn or avoid to get laid 100 billion times or attract your future baby mama. If you want way more information about these things, you can check out the podcast. I recommend you check out the podcast anyway. We've been getting pretty good reviews. In fact, only 1 review was below a 5-star. I may be jinxing that here right now, but give it a listen. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree. Let me know what other tier list you guys want to see. I am still making the green flags in women. I think let's focus on some positive shit after the red flags and stuff that we did. Thanks for watching. I love you so much. Here's a kiss on your beautiful nose. Mwah.